Welcome back to Let's Play the Adventures of Batman and Robin. Last time, we fought in a particularly tricky museum heist and then dealt with the leader of said heist, the Penguin, in a one-on-one battle on top of a roof. Not exactly aided by the fact that there was an attack helicopter trying to kill us while we did so. And today we open up with a terrible cutscene. It's not terrible in terms of animation, but more in terms of dialogue. Oh, you've got a feeling that something's going to happen tonight, Bruce. That's not a huge surprise, this is Gotham City. Something tends to happen here every night. Usually involving insane criminals. Equipment, you don't really need to bring anything specific, but I do like to bring the stars for one specific purpose I'll talk about later on. So the level starts with us at the foot of this giant vertical shaft. Sorry Fresno, I couldn't resist. And we have to make our way up it using the wall jump. Those fans will damage you if you touch them and also knock you a fair way down the wall, and you can use those ledges sticking out of the wall both to catch you if you fall when you hit a fan and also as a rest, but honestly I just like to use one giant wall jump to clear it. Now as much as I mocked that cutscene earlier for being terrible, and quite rightly so, it turns out Batman's fears were well founded because there is indeed someone else on the rooftops of Gotham tonight. You may have noticed a figure crawling their way up the side of a building using what appear to be their bare hands. Say hello to the villain for this episode, Selina Kyle, better known by her moniker of Catwoman. And when I call Catwoman a mere villain, I'm actually doing her a great disservice because she's a much more interesting and ambiguous character than that. I'll talk a bit more about what makes her so interesting a little later on, because right now it's time for action. Like Aerosmith once said, it's time for love in an elevator, in this case, tough love in an elevator. Catwoman will attack us as the lift makes its way up towards the roof, and all we have to do is survive. The best way to do this is to just equip the Batarang, throw it once a Catwoman to stun her, attack her, jump backwards, rinse, and repeat. That's all there is to it. The Batarang is a really overpowered weapon, not just for this fight, but for nearly 90% of the game. Honestly, if you just use the Batarang and a combination of that and Batman's basic attacks, you could probably beat nearly all the game with just that, apart from the sections that required specialist equipment. Also, one final cheap shot on her just as the lift was coming to a standstill, because why the hell not? Once that battle, such as it was, is over, the lift will reach the top of the roof, doors will open, and Catwoman will run away and in an attempt to escape pursuit by the Dark Knight, dive off the roof with Bruce in hot pursuit. That leads us to a rather neat little section where Catwoman and Batman are both in freefall, and Catwoman is trying to attack us by slashing through the air with her claws. Much like the battle in the elevator, you don't actually need to damage Catwoman at all here, just to avoid her attacks, but there is a benefit to punching her. My record, by the way, is 4 hits on her every time she comes down. Every time you strike Catwoman, you will get 100 points. I'm playing this game on hard mode, which removes all the continues, and also makes it you only get extra life after every 50,000 points. And points are kind of hard to come by in this game. You can only get them by defeating enemies, using equipment, or other special actions. Also, when that yellow flashing exclamation mark appears, use your grappling hook on one of those metal poles or you will fall to your death. As I said earlier, Catwoman is a very interesting character. She's technically a Batman villain, but she isn't really portrayed as it. Yes, she's a cat burglar, which makes her a criminal, but she often carries out her crimes for good reasons. Her motives are pure, even if perhaps the methods she uses to carry them out aren't. But to Batman, a criminal is still a criminal regardless of their motives, and so we have to chase after Catwoman here. Those times will fall and you have to avoid them by rolling twice. They do quite a bit of damage if they manage to crush you, but there are a couple of heart refills, so it's not entirely unforgiving. These jumps might look relatively simple, but be careful because they're surprisingly pixel perfect, and it is possible, quite easily, to fall off into your death. You might think your objective is to catch up to Catwoman here, but no. She'll even wait behind for you if you fall too far behind. What the hell kind of a chase is this? I do like it though, because it represents the complicated relationship between Batman and Catwoman rather well. In fact, in some respects, they're love interests, or at least potential love interests, separated by the fact that one of them is a criminal and one of them is a crime fighter. There's a life refill inside that door if you go inside it, but I had a full health bar so there was no point going here. But inside this door is something a bit more interesting. It might look like an entirely empty room, but to the far right here is a cat. This is Isis, and she'll serve more of a purpose a little later on. Isis is Catwoman's feline companion, who not only accompanies her mistress on heists, she sometimes assists in them as well. Inside door number 3 here is just a transition sequence to a back alley. And waiting for us within is none other than Catwoman, of course. The music shifts to this rather cool sounding boss theme, and we finally get to deal with Catwoman once and for all. Also, I love the fact the trash cans in the foreground disappear when the text comes on because of layering issues. Catwoman fights you exactly how she did back in the elevator sequence. I threw all my stars at her just to make this take a little less time, because while this isn't a hard fight per se, it is quite time consuming. Catwoman has 4 attacks, and much like the Penguin in the last level, they are determined by the distance you are standing away from her. If you're away across the screen, she'll dive at you with a sort of a running slash attack. If you're at what Mortal Kombat fans will call sweep distance, she'll use her whip. And if you're right in her face, she'll either use the whip, jump up and kick you, or slash out with her claws. The thing that makes Catwoman rather dangerous is that most of her attacks are unblockable. However, the Batarang makes this fight extremely easy, so for the purpose of the LP, I try to not use the Batarang wherever possible. Also, in case you're wondering, you can't actually throw her because she'll just jump up and kick you. This fight and the chase sequence preceding it are taken from The Cat and the Claw. Not only Catwoman's debut episode in the series, but it also serves as the series' debut as a whole. Well, I say as a whole, it's actually in 2 parts. And there we go, Catwoman went down really easy there, even without the aid of the Batarang. If you just trap her in the core and jump kick her, she goes down pretty quickly, as you just saw. And if you rescued Isis earlier on, you get this nice little extra cutscene where Batman returns Isis to her mistress. You don't actually need to do this. If you don't rescue Isis, then it just goes straight to the level complete screen. But it's a neat little Easter egg that perhaps not everyone knows about, so I just felt like showing it off. With that, Catwoman is defeated, so join me next time for whatever comes next in Let's Play the Adventures of Batman and Robin, and I'll let you in on a little secret. It's gonna be a doozy. Until then, bye for now.